Okay, now I'm going to teach you something about midpoint and distance between 2 points. So midpoint and distance. Midpoint and distance. How to find midpoint and distance on a Cartesian between 2 points on Cartesian plan. So this part of math method is not well. It's really tested on your year 12 in your year 12 final exam, but well, but it's but you have to know it's on the syllabus. Okay. Um, okay. For example, what do I mean by that? For example, well, if I have 2 points on a Cartesian plan, say this point, say 3 and 6, and the point origin there. Okay, origin, which is 0 and 0. Okay. Well, let's do distance first. Okay, the distance. Sometimes they ask you to find the distance between these 2 points. So what's happening is you have to find the point. You have to find this point. Just draw a straight line and find the point of the red line. So how do we do that? Is just look at this point. Here is 3, and here is 6. Okay. When we look at from origin to this point, the distance between them basically, if we look at this part, if we only look at this part, okay, we can see a triangle inside, a triangle in this shape. We can see a triangle in the we can see a triangle there in this shape, and of course a rectangle triangle, and the distance on the base is 3, the height is 6. This is your 2 point A and point B. Okay. So in order to find the line the distance of the line in between, we can actually, the simple way, just use Pythagoras theory, where right angle triangle a square plus b square equals to c square. Okay, and c. So Pythagoras theory, you have to familiar with it. Be very familiar with Pythagoras theory. Yes, I just write down the formula there. If we have a right angle triangle there, okay, this is A, this is B, this is C. Okay, just A square times B plus B square is equal to C square, and C will be square root of A square plus B square. Okay, so in this case, well, the distance is 3. The horizontal distance is 3, the vertical is 6. So it is the distance basically equals to 3 minus 0. Let's do it. 3 minus 0 square plus 6 minus 0. Okay, because we have to, well, minus use one point minus the other point. In this case, it's a 0. So, and the square root of them, which is 9 plus 36 square root, which is square root of 45. Yeah, okay, or is 3 square root 5. Okay, that's the distance, and you just put a unit sign there. Unit. Okay, 3 and square root 5 units. That's your distance. The midpoint is basically the point in the middle of the straight line. So it's simple to find the midpoint. The midpoint is the idea is you have to, well, from the graph you can say the midpoint is basically, so this is our midpoint. Point is the coordinate basically is 1.5 and 6. Okay. The correct mathematical way to do it is the midpoint. The x coordinate is you have to plus them together, plus the x coordinate of 2 points together and divide them by 2. So it's 3 plus 0 divided by 2, comma. The y coordinate is 6 plus 0. So 6 plus 0 divided by 2. Okay. Which is 1.5 and 3. Made a mistake here again. This is how do we find all the midpoints and distance. Basically, to find out distance, you have to use your the x coordinate, the x coordinate on one point minus the x coordinate on the other point, square of them, plus y coordinate minus the y coordinate of the other point, and the square of them, and the square root of the sum of them, like Pythagoras theory. Okay. The midpoint is just the sum of the x coordinate of both points divided by 2. That's your new the coordinate, x coordinate of your midpoint, and do the same thing with y coordinate. Okay. Let's do a question, do some example on how to find the midpoint and distance. Okay. The question states we have to find the midpoint and the distance between point A and point B. Okay, there. Okay, let's do it. Okay, let's do it here. Okay. Let's first find the midpoint. Okay. The midpoint is, well, the 2 points are 8, 2 and minus 6 minus 4. So the idea is to, so the midpoint will be I can't use the equal sign there because it's not an equation. The x coordinate, sum of the x coordinate divided by 2. So 8 plus minus 8. So 8 minus plus minus 6. Just 8 minus 6 divided by 2. That's your x coordinate. Your y coordinate is sum of y coordinate on both points divided by 2, which is 2 minus 4 divided by 2. 2 minus 4 divided by 2. Okay. 2 plus minus 4, 2 minus 4, same thing. Okay. So we do the math, you will ending up with 1 and 1. Yeah. Okay, that's basically your midpoint at, oh sorry, 1 and minus 1. Yeah, 2 minus 4 minus 1. So your midpoint is somewhere at 1 and minus 1 there. Clear? Okay. This is your midpoint. This is your midpoint. So it's 1 minus 1. Okay. Midpoint. That's your midpoint. And now we try to find the distance. Distance is basically say equals to a square plus b square root, which is the Pythagoras theorem. You will find some equations in your book. Just make it complicated. That's your basic formula. The only thing you need. So the distance is a is the distance on the horizontal distance, which is 8 minus 6. So 8 minus 6. Okay. And square plus the distance between your y coordinate, which is 2 minus 4. So 2 minus bracket minus 4. Okay, and other bracket square, and the square root of them. Okay, now you will have, which is 8 square, which is 14 square, plus, sorry, this clean this up. Okay, which is under 6 square root. Okay. Using calculator, using calculator we find it will be say will be 14. Well, just do a quick calculation there. 14 square is okay, 6 5 and 14. So it should be 216. Okay. Plus 36. So 242 square root of 242. This should be your final answer unit. This is the distance between point A and point B. Okay. Okay. This part is not, it's rarely tested in your exam, but you have to know how to do it. Just put what I can read. Well, just don't put too much energy on this topic.